Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the solar sector. Uh, I got a member tell me that the audio was no good, so I'm going to be more mindful and speak louder because I did not have time to adjust the settings. Sorry, Sorab. Sorab, so how you pronounce it. Okay, so start. Oh, no. All right, so that 10 trade highlighted a few days ago, obviously just ripping past the target. And while this was a really great day, it definitely kept the Bulls did a lot to keep this potential flag alive, right? It was looking a bit shaky there. It was already kind of questionable in the way that it started off with this big red candle to make an initial peak, and then there was this little kind of a little flag and a breakout fake out attempt. A breakout attempt into a fake out, and then we started watching this channel. So right now we have not yet left this channel. It's still very much in play, and let's check out the. You see, yeah, you can see we're coming up to test the upper range of it. I'm not sure why it's marked like that. It must be the after hours marked off of the. Yeah, okay. So I'm just assuming parallelism, whatever. I think both are appropriate terms. Anyway, I'm just assuming the top end. I'm not terribly confident in the resistance as much as I am, at least, in the support, right? Because the support has had many touches. And regarding this play, we were interested in this zone not just because of the potential playing off of the channel, but also because there's some price action here, previous price action. So if you missed that trade setup, that's all that is about. I'm just going to no longer relevant. Excuse me. So it's all about this channel again, right? Now that this level, this horizontal level, this shelf of support has been tested and the bulls showed up in a big way. Obviously, it was ideal market conditions, but because the bulls have now showed up in a big way, we can be fairly confident that this level will act as at least some bit of support, somewhat, right? If you like Wyckoff, then for all we know, that was a spring, right? Maybe this is a reaccumulation pattern. All right, so let's see. I wonder what the resistance looks like without that extended hours, because there's not a lot of volume trade. All right, so for 10 now, whenever we pull back on the daily time frame, we will be looking for a healthy daily higher low. No sign of that happening yet, right? For us to start looking out for that higher low, we want to see the hourly trend change first. And going into the end of the day, the bulls were fine. They had a little bit of a flag into the end of the day, and then broke to higher highs without any follow through because it closed. After hours, seeing a bit more upside, but we're approaching that resistance, that channel resistance. So if we were to reject from that channel resistance, then the median line is never a bad place, and it also happens just to be on top of where all of this price action was, right? So if ever there's been a lot of buyers that showed up here, a lot of transactions, it typically will be offer a better level of support, right? So we can mark off some tops here, right? Top. Give ourselves a bit of range to work with, right? And so then we can turn on the RSI indicator. Let's see where the so far because we pushed up. Yeah, it's still really far. It's gonna come up. So for now, we're not really sure. But whenever the bear starts showing up, we'll get a better idea of where RSI will be. I wouldn't be surprised. Either way, we're gonna be watching out for this zone. Might as well just mark it off at rectangle. This whole area now. Just an area of interest, right? Multiple tops got printed there. We'll just use one of the last major lows. Happens to be the gap as well. Let me just change this to color. So, well, it's So if we can get hourly oversold conditions into this box here, test the median line, test the pivot for the week, which obviously we only have 1 day left on that. But if we were to come down and test these levels in hourly oversold conditions, then I would be very interested in scouting a potential daily higher low, given how much range that is. It's a ton of range. All right, so this is where we'd be looking essentially. That's assuming a rejection, right? I don't really like to play. I'm not much of a breakout player. I don't. If I'm gonna play a breakout, it's a very specific kind, contextual breakouts. But something like this, I don't hate this. Or all right. And again, you just want to make sure, double check that the hourly RSI is extended. Okay, so JKS broke out of its base in a big way. I believe we have been talking about these levels, right? So similar to TAN, who has been basing and then broke to a lower low. JKS was just basing and then stayed relatively stronger in that regard and then broke back out. The heck of a trader, eh? Trading this guy. Trading 10. Anyway, so we were watching these two bases, right? Because multiple bottoms got put in there, and then we were potentially looking to make plays off of this in hourly overbought conditions, which obviously would not have worked out terribly well. This is a situation too where you'd probably want to look at context. I mean, you always want to look at context. Hourly was just getting extended after already breaking the range. It opened up strong, and bulls just had it the whole day. So would have been a tricky. I mean, it's not advised. It would have been ill advised. Like even if you were to try this trade, it's already a red flag that it's not even price was not even extended yet. So it got oversold over here, right? So it's already past the range. It's already past your zone of interest, and it's not even oversold yet. Not a good look, right? Especially this is big bull volume. So and typically, just in general, when you're playing short, you typically want to be a bit more cautious because, of course, trends matter. And if it's in a macro downtrend, you should be playing bearish. But the idea is simply that the markets are inherently biased bullish, right? If you believe in human expansion, then you kind of just assume that the markets will continue to expand, right? Just like the population does. But anyway, neither here or there right now. So now that we've broken over that level, and so if you weren't watching, we were talking about a potential hourly higher low play. Just such a great example of just playing the range, right? I set up a trade here for the potential of a higher low after a strong day all day, but mentioned that ultimately because we're in this sideways range, I care more about the range. Next day, the lower range got tested, and then obviously rip past it. So now that we are above this zone of resistance, previous resistance, now I bet you it starts acting as support, right? So when we come back and look for that higher low, this is a good place to start looking. So for example, if we start pulling back right away tomorrow, you want to play that 5-minute higher low that hourly higher low. Oh, yeah, you actually have a ton of space to work. So I wouldn't be surprised somewhere down here. Get 15.2, and then you can be essentially it would be a 4-hour higher low. Just one 4-hour move up. So if you want to grab a higher low 4-hour time frame, 15-minute oversold is where it's at. So maybe you set up your trade, something like that. Something like that. Okay. And so ideally the bulls will come back tomorrow, show up, print an hourly higher low. Anything over 59.10 will be an hourly higher low. Taking an hourly perspective. What be looking up at TVs. Okay, so maybe something like that for a potential hourly higher low, and you can run the stop looser. Obviously, if you don't want to stop out, Over here, maybe you think, you know what, let me run it all the way down here. Maybe I'll scale it down deeper. All of these things are fine. Just adjust the trade as you see fit. I think this is a fairly relatively reasonable general structure for an hourly higher low. Three, just adjust your levels accordingly. Okay, so ideally we'll see some more follow through, another hourly higher low, anything over 910, break to higher highs so that we can see some more follow through on the daily bounce. And really, it's the potential weekly EQ, right? I would not be surprised by a rejection from all-time high, and then we'll just tighten up, go run. Okay, so run, giving you one fill off that potential setup. Yeesh, that's really not what you want to see, right? If I mean, it gave you plenty of range to take profit on this trade if you had taken it exactly as was laid out in the video, but this is not what you want to see, right? When you want to see, so the bears come and change this 5 minute trend and see a lot of follow through. Instead, what happened today was you got a fill, they changed the 5 minute trend, saw a little bit of follow through, then defended this little double bottom here, and then rallied to close to high a day. It's not exact. You don't feel comfortable. You don't love that. You don't love that as a bear, right? When you're shorting. So ideally, even if you just got this one fill, you've already chopped it up for profit or taken it all off already, just to be a bit more conservative. But trying to tell you how to trade, but it's just a bit of a red flag. And now if you wanted to look for this short again, I would move these levels up because the hourly now, excuse me, would be extended a little bit higher up. Okay. All right, so let's see. Have not yet changed the daily trend. The hourly trend is still bullish. Ideally, what bulls will do tomorrow is show up, defend this low of $57, break to a higher high over 60.06 to see some more bounce follow through on the daily time frame. And here's will be top fishing this level over here. And I mean, it's just a general congestion area. There are a bunch of tops got put in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's out like this. But we'll be interested in potential daily lower highs in this green area up here, and we can, if you want to be aggressive, you can be making plays as soon as the hourly gets oversold, because just like today it got overbought, it's not really the fall through you want to see, but again, it gave you plenty of opportunity to take profit, protect this position if you wanted to. Like I don't know if I would have stayed in a position into the end of the day here, but even if you did and you've taken half of profit or more, then who cares? Next day you get stopped out, even if it would have to be a massive gap up to be, to make you red if you've taken off partial here. And by partial, I always take off like half. I do half and then another half. That's just how I typically scale out. Anyway, so that's pretty much the only short-term trade that I like for Sunrun. Whenever we pull back on the daily time frame, we will be looking for a daily higher low over 49.21. Okay, so in the near term, we're watching out for these resistances. Don't really love any hourly higher low plays. They probably already played out with the 5 minute trend today. Yes. So for now, just looking at that bearish trade for run. Okay, so obviously we're not going to get that channel test for FSLR. Although I do believe this are highlighted here. Oh, I see. Not bad. Alrighty then. So anyway, let's see. I mark all these levels off and not set up a trade. Maybe we didn't quite get extended enough. Okay, well, anyway. Let's see here. FSLR held this base of support here, saw a nice decent sized bounce. Hourly trend is very healthy, just kind of ripped in the morning and then went sideways all day. Very healthy consolidation. Whenever we pull back, bulls would be looking for an hourly higher low over 81.63. So ideal situation would be to print a higher low over 81.63, break over 88.66 to see some more daily bounce follow through, and we are coming up at this key resistance. There will be short plays, there will be top fish plays to be had. I like it a little bit above those levels though. You can see there was some price congestion there as well, so maybe not a bad place up here where the hourly would start getting overbought. Right, the median line is there as well, so something like this, just head up. Something like that, perhaps. I don't hate something like that. Let's check it out again on the daily time frame to see if it's something reasonable. Yeah, it would just be top fishing, right? Fishing this all-time high resistance. In hourly overbought conditions, not a bad play by any means. If you're looking bullish, we're just looking for that potential hourly higher, right? So if you want bullish play tomorrow, if we start pulling back more on the hourly time frame, then maybe we'll be looking for a play here, here. All right, and you're already oversold there, so why not? Yep, something like that. Great. Something like that. All right, just a long trade. Maybe maybe you can ride this into a potential short target. Just hit that reverse button. No, I'm kidding. Don't try to get too cute with trading. Like the reverse button is so fun, and it feels great when you nail it, but it shouldn't be a goal. All right, so maybe a long trade for an hourly higher low into that short zone of interest. Let's see here. And now, last but not least, plug. Go. 450. All right, plug. Gap and go day. Super strong. Nearing this resistance now. Let's see here. Fell out of this channel for a brief moment in time. Broke back into it. Now we are messing with around an hourly over conditions while we test that high over there. So, aggressive bears are top fishing. Sure. Bears are top. Whoops. And I guess include this data now. Parallelity, whatever. Got a good reaction. So now that we have these two touches there, I feel a little bit better about this. For the data, I like that better. Yes. And now we have that 1, 2, 3 times a lady. All right. So now we're in a potential area to be looking short. Right. It's obviously a bit scary, right? You're looking at a very strong bull. So, but I mean, this is a rip on the daily time frame as well, and if you are looking short, I'm not saying to look short, but if you are going to short, now is the time, right? You're up at resistance, your RR is very clear, your hourly is overbought, you're at the top of a channel, and this is it, right? It doesn't really get much better. Just know that you are fighting a very strong bull, right? So as long as we're overbought, the more overbought the better. but overbought up here, yeah, something like that. Okay, and whenever we pull back, bulls will be scouting a daily higher low. Bulls will be scouting a daily higher low with anything over I guess that's kind of a higher, but I care more about this one. Anything over 1369 being another what? Anything, yep, 1369 being another higher low. Okay, so I think that just about covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.